Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, and this is Style in V, and this is a tutorial of how I made this stylish gown. Right here is an Ankara mix with lace, yes, design, and also a collar, a open collar. I think this is a bishop collar, yes, and also a zipper. So let's get started for this tutorial. So to start this tutorial, these are all you'll be needing for this dress. So I have with me my zipper, my bias tape right here, and my lining piece, and also my thread, my lace. So this is about 1 yard of lace. I don't really know the type of lace, but it's just all those small lace. And this is also my Ankara fabric. So I'll be using this Ankara fabric, not really all of them, but about 4 yards of it. Okay, so let's get started for our drafting process. So I've gone ahead to fold my fabric into two like this, as you can see right here. So this will be for the front, and to know the width of fabric to fold, you divide your hip circumference by 4 and you add 4 inches if you just want it to be on a normal size. But if you want it big, you can add about 5 inches or 6 inches. Okay, so and that's all. And for the length, I am using a length of 62 inches plus 2 inches allowance, that is 64 inches. Okay, so the next thing for me to do is to get my half length. So I'll come down from the top of my fabric right here, and I will mark my half length. And after marking out my half length, I'll come down by 9 inches to mark my hip line. Okay, as you can see me doing right here, I'll just go ahead and mark my hip line right here. So after this, the next thing for me to do is to get my neck width, okay, on this top line. This is also our shoulder line. So I'll go ahead and mark 3 inches. You know it comes with a collar, and that's a bishop collar. So I'll be marking 3 inches for the neck width, and I'll go ahead and mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2. And after this, I will come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. Okay, I'll come down by 1 inch from the shoulder line to get my shoulder slope, and I'll connect it to meet the neck width like this. So after this, I'll come down by 8 inches for my armhole depth, and on this armhole line, I'll go ahead and place my shoulder measurement divided by 2 and connect it with a straight line like this, and I'll just go ahead and give it the armhole curl. So this is a freehand, no need of doing all those calculations on pattern, so because this is a freehand. Okay, so and on this chest line, I'll go ahead and divide my bust circumference divided by 4, and I will add 3 inches. Yes, I'll add 3 inches to whatever I have. That is 2 inches for ease and 1 inch for joining allowance. Okay, so and also on my half length, I will also do the same thing. I'll divide my waist circumference by 4, and I will add the same 3 inches to this. Like I said earlier, if you want yours to be bigger, you can add more extra allowance to it. Okay, so and on my hip line, I also go ahead and divide my hip circumference by 4, and I will add 3 inches to it right here. So when I'm done, I'll connect all the lines together. I'll connect from my bust to meet my waistline, and from my waistline to meet my hip line like this. And whatever measurement I have on my hip line, I will take it down. Okay, I'll take the measurement down to meet the hem of my dress like this. Okay, as you can see me doing right here. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and take the measurement down so that it will be free. Yes, so you know it's a free gown. So guys, and when I'm done, I'll just go ahead to confirm my length. Remember I said I'm using 64 inches, yes, as both my full length and joining allowance. So the next thing for me to do is to come down by 3 inches as my neck depth. Okay, and I'll just go ahead and give it the round. So I'll just go ahead and trim it up following the shape like this, as you can see me doing right here. So the next thing for me to do is to cut out the back piece, and I'll place the front piece on this back fabric like this, and leaving a space of 1.5 inches as our zipper allowance before placing the front piece like this. Okay, so the next thing I'll do is to come down by 1.5 inches as my neck depth for the back, and I'll connect it to meet the neck width in front like this. Okay, as you can see me doing right here. And on the waistline area, I'll just go ahead and extend the waistline to meet the back pattern. That's the back fabric, and I'll come in by 1/2 inch. Okay, so this is to eliminate any form of zipper bulge here. But since this is a free gown, the possibilities of having zipper bulge is just few, like 0. So you'll not be having zipper bulge because this is a very free gown. So but all the same, I'll just go ahead and do this pattern of eliminating my zipper bulge. So and when I'm done, I'll just go ahead and trim this off like this. Okay, as you can see me showing you guys right here. So this is just basically all for the back. It's just the neckline and the zip and the zipper side, that's just the difference for this back, and every other thing is the same. So the next thing for me to do is to mark where I want my pockets to be, because this comes with a pocket, and I will come down by 2 inches from my waistline, and after marking this 2 inches I will come down by 7 inches. So this will be the width of my pockets. Okay, so this is how wide. You can see me putting my hands, that's me, I'm just checking if my hands will be able to pass through, and 7 inches is enough. And I'll just go ahead and notch all this pocket sides, okay, like this, and this is what we have right here. Okay, so the next thing for me to do is to take off this back pattern, because we're done with the back pattern. I'll just go ahead and take it off and work on the front pattern. Okay, so I will go ahead, I'll keep it folded like this, and I'll bring my lace. Yes, remember there's a lace in front of it. So this lace is about 1 yard of lace fabric right here. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and place it on this front bodice like this. Okay, I'll fold it in such a way that I will be able to get my pattern. That is the pattern for the lace. Yes, so I'll just go ahead and fold it into 2 like this. It should be on fold because your fabric is already, your Ankara fabric is already on fold. So I'll just go ahead and fold it up like this. Okay, now look at how I fold it. I fold it past my shoulder line, because the design for the lace, it's from the shoulder. Okay, so I fold it past my shoulder line and it went straight down. Okay, so when I'm done, I'll just go ahead and like trim it off, like follow and trim the neckline off, so that I'll be able to see very well and mark out the design for it like this. So I'll just go ahead and trim the neckline and also the shoulder parts like this, and also the armhole area. Okay, like this, as you can see me doing right here. Okay, so when you do this, you'll be able to like understand how the design works. You'll be able to do the design very well. So the next thing for me to do is to come down by 4 inches. Remember we marked 8 inches as our armhole depth, so you divide that 8 inches by 2. If your own armhole depth is 9, you can divide your 9 by 2. Okay, so after that, after marking 4 inches, I will come down by 10 inches. That is my bust point. Okay, I'll come down by 10 inches, and after marking this, I'll go ahead and mark half of my nipple to nipple measurement. So the nipple to nipple for this client is 4 inches. So I'll just go ahead and mark my nipple to nipple on the bust point area, and I'll connect it to meet this 4 inches right here. Okay, I'll connect it. Sorry, it's not really visible, but from my explanation you understand what I'm doing. So I'll connect it like curvy, like I'll give it a curvy shape to meet the 4 inches. So when I'm done, I will proceed to mark this same 4 inches straight down to meet the hem of my gown like this. Okay, so as you can see me doing, I'll just go ahead and repeat the same process, the 4 inches straight down to meet the hem of my gown, as you can see me doing right here. So my lace did not get to the length of the fabric, but I'll be adding extra lace to it. Okay, so that it will reach the end of the, that is, it will reach the hem of the dress. Okay, so guys, I am done. So guys, I'll just trim it following the shape that I marked earlier, as you can see me doing right here. Okay, so this is what we have. So you can see the shape that we have. Remember, I did this on fold. It was done on fold. Okay, so after this I will proceed to after this I'll just go ahead and cut out a lining piece and also add the extra lace to the length of the lace right here. Okay, so guys, I have gone ahead to cut out the lining piece for it, and this is what we have. I went to cut the lining piece for both the front and back. Okay, like this. So the next thing for us to do is to put an hairstay to it. Okay, just go ahead and put an hairstay, like maybe half of from your shoulder to meet your armhole. Okay, it's just for the neckline. So just go ahead and put the same thing on your lining piece and also your fabric. Okay, so I'll proceed to cut my pockets. Yes, before doing all those things, I'll just go ahead and cut my pocket. So for the width of my pocket, I'll go ahead and mark 7 inches. Now remember, we marked 7 inches for the width of our pocket on the main fabric. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and mark 7 inches by 7 inches. I'll square it and then give it the pocket shape. Okay, you just go ahead and give it that pocket shape, as you can see me doing right here. Okay, so this is actually one of the easiest form of cutting your pocket. So I'll just go ahead and give it the pocket shape like this, as you can see me. So I'm cutting 4 of this. That is 2 for each side, 1 for the left side, 2 for the left side, and the other 2 for the right side. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and cut this into 4 like this. Okay, as you can see me showing you guys right here. So I'm done cutting out the pocket, and the next thing for us to cut is the sleeve. Okay, so I'll go ahead and fold my fabric into 2 like this, and the length of this sleeve is 18 inches, and I'll be using 10 inches for the Ankara fabric. Remember, it has an Ankara and it also have the lace part. Okay, so I'll be using 10 inches for the Ankara and 8 inches for the lace part. So I'll go ahead and input half of my round arm circumference, and I'll add 3 inches. Okay, so I'll add 3 inches as the allowance. Remember, we're making a big gown. Okay, it's like a maxi gown, so I'll go ahead and add 3 inches allowance to it so that the sleeve will not be shorter than the armhole of the main dress. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and curve out my sleeve shape like this. I have a tutorial on how to draft a basic short sleeve and long sleeve. Okay, so I also added 1 inch for joining allowance to this sleeve, that is to this Ankara part. Okay, and also to the lace part, I'll go ahead and fold it into 2 like this, and I'll mark out my length of 8 inches and also add 1 inch for joining allowance. Okay, as you can see me doing right here, I'll just go ahead and mark it out like this, as you can see me doing, and I'll just cut this out gently and I'll place it on my Ankara. So this is how it will be. Okay, I'll go ahead and place it on my Ankara and I'll recut it. Yes, so that they should be on equal width like this. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and cut it like this. So this is what we have for our sleeve, and I'll go ahead and cut the other sleeve. Okay, yes, I'll go ahead and cut the other sleeve. Also cut the lining piece for the upper part, that is for the Ankara part. So guys, the next thing for us to do is to work on this front bodice. Okay, so remember I said I went to put an hairstay to it, which I've done this, and for this lace I'll open it up. Now before opening it up, you notch the midpoint of the neckline, that is the midpoint of your lace and also the midpoint of your Ankara fabric, and you place the midpoint, that is the midpoint should be the same. Okay, like this. Now I advise you iron your lace on fold and also your Ankara fabric on fold, so that you'll be able to use that ghetto line as a guide. So I'll go ahead and pin it like this. Okay, as you can see me doing right here, I'll go ahead and pin it gently like this, as you can see me doing. So you can see the shape of our lace design is already taking place. So I'll go ahead and pin it gently, following the shape like this. So that is why I advise you iron it before placing it, so that your lace will not go one side. So guys, I'll just go ahead and pin it from this top like this to meet the hem of our fabric, And when I'm done pinning it, I'll take it over to my sewing machine and sew the sides. Okay, I'll go ahead and sew all the sides so that my lace will stick to my Ankara fabric. Okay, I'll go ahead and sew all the sides like this so that my lace will stick to my Ankara fabric. So guys, I am done sewing all the sides of it. Okay, so the next thing for us to do is take it over to our sewing machine and sew in our bias. Yes, the black bias I showed you guys earlier at the start of the video. I'll just go ahead and show you guys how to attach the bias on it. So let's start the bias face. So now remember, the bias is folded by 0.25 inches on both sides. So I'll go ahead and place my bias right side. That is the normal way of making a bias tape, okay, of sewing a bias tape. So that's the same thing you just do here. So I'll just go ahead and place my bias right side facing my lace, and on this 0.25 inches on the edge, I'll go ahead and sew it. Yes, I'll sew on this the shape of my lace. I'll go ahead and place my bias on it, and I'll follow this shape like this and sew on the 0.25 inches. That is the one at the edge. Okay, I'll just go ahead and sew it following the shape like this, as you can see me doing right here. I'll just go ahead and sew it like this, or whichever method that you find easier for you, you can do that. But for me, this is how I do mine. So I'll just sew on the 0.25 inches following the shape of my lace like this. Okay, you sew it so that the edge of your lace will not be showing. Yes, your lace does not have to show on this edge part. Is the bias that is supposed to show on that part. So guys, I am done sewing, and I'll flip my bias. I will turn it like this. Okay, as you can see me doing right here, I'll go ahead and turn it. I'll fold it like this. Okay, as you can see me doing, and I'll sew on it. Yes, okay, I'll turn it right here and I'll sew on it at the tip. Okay, I'll sew on it at the tip following this shape. So whatever thing I do to one side, I'll do it to the other side. That is the same thing I am doing here. I'll do it to the other side of the lace. Okay, as you can see me doing right here. So I'll sew this thing from the beginning to the hem line. So guys, I am done sewing, and this is what we have. So you can see the design that we have here. Okay, so I am done with this, and the next thing for us to do is to place in our lining. So our lining is also folded, and I ironed it and also notched it. Okay, so this will help to serve as a guide. So I will place this on this fabric, the notch side of my lining facing the notch side of my fabric. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and hold it on with a pin. Remember, there's an opening at the front of this dress, so I will come down by 4 inches to get this opening. I'll come down by 4 inches. You can do 5 inches depending on how open you want it to be, and from this midpoint, I'll go ahead and mark 0.25 inches on both sides. From the neckline to meet the 4 inches, from the midpoint, I'll mark 0.25 inches, and I'll go ahead and sew. Okay, I'll go ahead and sew the 0.25 inches on both sides. As you can see me doing right here, I'll go ahead and sew to this inches, and I'll also go ahead and sew right here. All of them will meet at this 4 inches right here. Okay, I'll go ahead and sew it. So guys, I am done sewing it, and I also went ahead to give it a good press so you can see how it is. So I also went ahead to give it a good press, and you can see how relaxed it is. So if you did not put a hairstay on your neckline, it won't sit well. It will be gaping, like your neckline will be falling. So guys, and the next thing for me to do is to sew in my lining piece to the main fabric. Okay, I'll just go ahead and sew it's following the shape of this dress like this, and I'll keep it aside. And also on this back, I will also go ahead and sew in. Remember, it's on fold and it's open. Yeah, the back piece is open because of the zipper allowance. So I'll just go ahead and place my lining piece also on it, and I will sew. Okay, now I am not sewing it this way. No, I'm not sewing it this way. I will place the right side of my fabric to face the right side of my lining. That is, yeah, this is how I will put it. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and match the lining piece because I want to weave this dress. Okay, so that is why I'm placing this like this. If you don't weave yours, you can go ahead and sew it the normal way where you put your seams inside, but I'm weaving this, so that's why I'm sewing it like this. Okay, so you just go ahead and sew it like this, following the shape, both front and back. Whatever thing you do to one side, you do it to the other side. Okay, like this. So guys, I am done matching up my lining, sewing my lining, and the next thing for me to do is to place my pockets. Yes, I'll go ahead and place my pockets on that place that we notched earlier. That is from the waistline to where the pocket ends. So this is it. I'll place my pockets right side facing right side. Okay, and you just go ahead and sew right side facing right side. Whatever thing you do to the front, you also do the same thing to the back. Okay, so this is what we have. So I'm gonna head to sew the pocket right here, and this is what we have. So the next thing for us is to start the collar process. Now I had to slow down this video so that you guys understand this part better. So I'll go ahead and measure from this midpoint right here to our zipper, where the zipper allowance ends. Yes, from the midpoint, one side of the midpoint of our front neckline to where the back zipper allowance ends. Okay, so you just go ahead and measure it round like this. Okay, and this is what we have. So mine is 9 inches. Okay, that is one side. Now whatever thing you have on one side, that's the same thing you have on the other side. So but to reconfirm, you go ahead and measure round. Okay, so that you don't do guesswork. So I'll go ahead and complete the measuring round, and I ended up having 18 inches. That means all my sides are equal because I have 9 inches on the other side, and this is 18 inches round. Okay, so the next thing for us to do is to cut out the collar. So you just go ahead and get your pattern paper like this. Okay, as we have here. Now remember, the pattern paper should be on fold. Please don't mind this pattern paper that I'm using. So I will fold my pattern paper into 2 right here, and from this midpoint, that is from the folded part, I'll go in by half of this round measurement, which is 9 inches, the half of the round neckline second front. Okay, which is 9 inches. Okay, so I'll go ahead and fold this in, and I'll mark 9 inches. Now at this point, I noticed that my paper will not be able to reach 9 inches on fold, so I'll go ahead and do it open. But when you're cutting out your collar, please, it should be on fold. Okay, so that one part for the left and the other part for the right. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and mark out my 9 inches, as you can see me right here, and I will cut it out like this. So this is my 9 inches, and we'll be working on this collar like this. Okay, so now after placing your 9 inches like this, the next thing for you to do is to get the midpoint. Sorry, I'm doing too much cutting here, so sorry guys. So the next thing for us to do is to get the midpoint of our 9 inches. But before getting the midpoint, I will label them so that you guys will not get confused. This side is the back. Yes, that is where this 1 inches is starting from, is the back, and where the 9 inches is the front. Okay, and on this front part, I will come up by 1.5 inches right here. Okay, so after doing this, I will get the midpoint of this pattern paper, which is a midpoint of this neck width, which is 4.5 inches, and I will mark it right here. This is to serve as a guide so that our collar will sit well, okay, on our neck. So I'll go ahead and connect from this 4.5 inches to meet this 1.5 inches that I came up by on the front side that I label like this. Okay, look at how I am connecting it. I'm connecting it slantly, not straight. Okay, so guys, after this, you go ahead and come up by 1.5 inches. That is how wide I want my collar to be. So this is a bishop collar. Yes, so I'll come up by 1.5 inches right here. Okay, so I'll take it from one point to another. If you want your width to be 2 inches, fine, you can do the same thing. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and connect all these lines together like this, as you can see me doing right here. Okay, so this is what we have. I'll just go ahead and connect it like this. Okay, and this is what we have right here. Okay, so the next thing for me to do is to reconfirm our 9 inches. I'll go ahead and place it following the shape of this neckline to reconfirm our 9 inches, and this is where my 9 inches ends, and I will mark it. So whatever I have on this lower side, I'll just go ahead and mark it straight to meet like curvy. Yes, I'll use the curvy side of this ruler to connect it to the upper side like this. Okay, as you can see me doing right here. So guys, this is all, and I'll just go ahead and trim it off like this, okay, so that you guys will see what we have. So this place that my scissors is the lower side of your neck. Okay, that will be on the fabric, directly on the fabric, and this upper side is the upper side of the neckline like this. Okay, I hope you guys understand. So this is what we have, and please don't forget to label them, your back, your front, your up and down, so you don't mix them up. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and cut this in twos. Okay, that is, I'll cut this fold, one for each side. Remember, it's open, so one for the front and the other one for the back. Okay, so I'll go ahead and cut this on my Ankara fabric, and I'll be adding an allowance of 1/2 inches round following the shape of this collar. I'll add an allowance of 1/2 inch. So guys, I've gone ahead to cut out all my pieces. So for this the Ankara, I went ahead to cut 4. That is, I'll be using one for the main fabric piece, and the other one will still serve as the lining. I also went ahead to cut out lace. Yes, I went to cut out lace for it, and this is a medium gum stay. So I first cut out this half part, but later I went ahead to like gum the full fabric, okay, with it. So this is how it will be. So before doing anything first, you just go ahead and gum your gum stay on your fabric first, okay, using your pressing iron. So guys, I'm done gumming my gum stay on my fabric piece, and this is what we have. So the next thing for you to do is to place your lace on it. Yes, you go ahead and place your lace on it. Please remember to notch it, okay, so that you don't get confused. So I'll go ahead and place my lace on it, and I'll place my lining piece on it like this, and I'll go ahead and sew. Okay, I'll go ahead and sew it on the upper side and on the 2 sides. I didn't sew the lower side. Okay, so I'll go ahead and place it like this, as you can see me doing right here. So, and I'll use my lining piece to cover it up, and I'll just go ahead and sew it round. Okay, then I'll flip it to the right side and give it a very good press. Okay, so guys, I am done sewing, and this is what we have. So the next thing for me to do is to attach this collar to the neckline, and you just go ahead and sew from one point to another, and whatever thing you do to one side, you do it to the other side. Okay, following the pattern of the collar. That is where the front should be, where should be in the middle, and the back should be where should be at the zipper. Okay, so the next thing for us to do is to attach our sleeve, and I'll notch my sleeve, that is the midpoint of my sleeve, to my shoulder line, and I'll just go ahead and sew it like this. Okay, I'll just go ahead and sew it right here, following the shape of my armhole like this, and whatever thing I do to one side, I'll do it to the other side. That is, I'll go ahead and attach my collar to the neckline, and also my sleeve to the armhole area. Okay, like this, as you can see me showing you guys right here. So guys, I am done attaching the collar. You can see what it looks like right here, and also the sleeve to it. And the next thing for us to do is to shape. Okay, and I'll fold it like this. That's right side facing right side for us to shape, the same way you used to shape your dress. So it's just the same method that you do here. So I'll go ahead and fold it right side facing right side like this. Now I'll place the sleeve in such a way that the two armhole will meet. Yes, the 2 sides of our sleeve will have to meet. Okay, like this, as you can see me doing right here. I'll go ahead, so all the sides of this dress have to meet. That is both the sleeve, the pockets, and everywhere. So I'll also go ahead and pin this lower side of our sleeve right here like this, and also the hem of this lace like this, and I'll come down to the pocket area and make sure that all the pockets sides will also meet right here. Okay, so I'll go ahead and pin this. Okay, so you should pin everywhere before shaping. So I'll go ahead and pin the pockets area like this, and as you can see me doing here. Okay, so if you've watched to this point, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. And I'll just go ahead and hold the hemline like this. Okay, so the next thing for us to do is to shape, as you all can see me doing. So I'll be shaping with 1 inch. So I'll go ahead and take my 1 inch like this. Okay, following the shape of this sleeve to meet the pockets and to meet the hem. Okay, so I'll go ahead and sew to this point, and on this pocket shape, I'll go ahead and give it this box shape like this and follow the shape of the pocket like this. As you can see me doing, I'll just go ahead and follow the shape of the pocket, and I'll continue to meet the hem. Now this dress is having a side slit. If you want a back slit, that's fine by you, but for me, I wanted to have a side slit, and I'll come up by 20 inches. Okay, I'll come up by 20 inches and I'll mark right here. Okay, so this remaining part is for our sleeve. So I'll just go ahead and shape it following this chalk that I marked earlier, and after shaping, I'll also go ahead and add my zipper to the back. Okay, also go ahead and add my zipper to it, and you guys, I'm done adding my zipper and also shaping this. Okay, as you can see right here. So the next thing for us to do is to notch this pocket side so that the pocket will sit very well. It will not be squeezing on this pocket side. So just go ahead and notch it there, and also on this slit side, I'll go ahead and put an hemming gum or a hemming gum to it, and I'll hem it on the 2 sides like this. Okay, as you can see me doing, and also on the lower side, I'll also go ahead and hem the lower side of this dress like this. Okay, so this is just basically all, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.